Hello children, today we are going to revise your third chapter of history, Applied History. By whom and for whom and why is history written? What are the ways of engaging history with the past? Previously children, academic history was taught in a very noble way by teaching children to build relationship with the past. But now, history is studied in a very meaningful way by connecting people and societies to history and by analyzing different roles and practices associated with the past in society. We have studied about historiography and various ideologies of various historians. Today, we will see how history can be applied or used in the present day and professional field affiliated to history. When you learn any concept in maths or science, you put them into practice by applying the learned theory in your life. For example, after studying about cells, you will make a gadget, or after studying about Wright brothers, you will create model of a plane, etc. etc. This is how we apply theory for the benefit of people or society. Now, let us study about applied history. This term was first coined in 1909 by political scientist and historian Benjamin Schambach. He defined applied history as the use of the scientific knowledge of history and experience in efforts to solve present problems of human betterment. Now let's see what your textbook says about applied history. Applied history is also known as public history. It is a field of study concerned with the application of history in our lives for the benefit of contemporary, that is, present, as well as future generation. Children, this is a very complex topic. Let's try to understand this by an example. When World War I and II took place in the past, great leaders of various countries gave a solution of establishing strong organization like League of Nations and United Nations to avoid war in the future. Countries even signed an agreement of disarmament, that is, not to make nuclear weapons. If we talk about the present situation, world knows that there is a Cold War going on between India and China. If at all they declare war on each other, what will be the result? It will impact the economy of both the nations, as well as crores of lives and property will be destroyed. We have already seen this in the past in World War I and World War II and have learnt that war gives nothing but only destruction. So, no country, unless and until it doesn't come on a pride of any country, will try to repeat this mistake again. So this is applying history for the benefit of present and future generation. Government makes policies for the betterment of the people, which is called social planning, on social issues, unemployment, poverty, etc. Tourist visiting various places and museum also plays an important role. They create employment opportunities for the local people. For example, they can work as photographers, guide, they can provide transport facilities, lodging facilities. This is how the income of local people increases. Apart from this, it is also important that our sources of history, in whichever form it is, whether oral, written, or material, should be conserved and preserved for the present as well as future generations. There are many universities in foreign countries where various courses on public history are offered. One such institute is in Karnataka, Bangalore, which is known as Srushti Institute of Art, Design and Technology. This institute has an independent department named Center for Public History. The method of history can prove to be of great importance in the research of various fields. So let's study about applied history and research in various fields with the first point, philosophy. Philosophy in Greek is known as love of wisdom, that is, rational thinking. When we learn about the Greek philosophers, we got to know that they had their own ideologies or school of thought, which was based on rational thinking, that is, based on evidence and not based on mythological reasoning. History of philosophy help us to study about their ideology. We analyze how Pythagoras must have formulated the famous Pythagoras theorem. Next one is science. History helps us to learn the sequence, that is the chronological order of scientific discoveries, inventions and theories. For example, Newton discovered the law of gravity. Gravitational force existed on Earth since ages, so gravity was not invented, it was discovered. Newton discovered how gravitational force works. Man learnt how the steam power can be utilized and then made steam engine. This steam engine was an invention. It did not exist on the earth. This showed that we invent things to satisfy our needs. Similarly, Einstein gave the theory of relativity, and on the basis of how birds flap their wings, Leonardo da Vinci came up with the design of a helicopter which would help people to fly from one place to another just like birds. This is known as cause-effect chain. So we see that man's curiosity arises in order to satisfy a need, and this leads to an invention. On the basis of Kepler's law of planetary motion, Newton discovered the law of gravity. Thus, we see that knowledge of history of science helps in facilitating a scientific discovery. Next one is technology. Science and technology are dependent on each other. The use of science to make machine is known as technology. Nowadays, drones are used to spray pesticide and insecticide over the fields. This is a latest technology. These pesticides and insecticides are harmful to a great extent. When the farmers used to spray manually on the crops, they would suffer from health issues. But with the help of this technology, farmers' health is safe. Also, time taken to do this work is saved. Only by learning the history of technology, we can able to bring an advancement in technology by avoiding the mistakes of the past. When Portuguese came to India for the trade of spices, what they get along themselves? Children, they get along themselves their culture. Today, if you go to Goa, you will get a glimpse of Portuguese culture in the lifestyle of people of Goa. By this, we understand that the field of mutual social transaction expands with the growth of industry and trade. It also promotes continuous development of cultural interactions. So, it is important for us to know about history of culture. Social organization like family structure has also evolved from joint family to nuclear family, and economic institutions like banks has also changed. We have learned how taxation system is important in import and export of goods, and by having the knowledge of history of industry, we have created laws for our trade and commerce. So, this is how the study of history of industry and commerce helps us to have better growth. Next field is management studies. In order to manage business, it is important to understand about means of production, human resources, process of production, chain of market sales, management, etc. But the most important among these is human resources. Before recruiting any worker on the basis of their ability, it's very important to know about the psychology of the worker. This will help us to train them well and get a better result. The next field of research is arts. We have various art forms like dance, music, theatre, literature. Art is the power of imagination, skills, and state of emotion of an artist. There are several paintings in this world which we don't even understand what they say. But on the other hand, there are people, they spend thousands of rupees for such painting because they understand and appreciate the artwork, mindset, or an emotional temperament of the artist. Next field of research is humanities. Humanities includes disciplines like history, archaeology, sociology, anthropology, political science, economics, etc. Each of these disciplines talk about origin of something. For example, anthropology discusses about the human origin. Archaeology helps us to know about the ancient excavations or fossils, etc. And this is an essential part of history. All disciplines have their origin in philosophy. On the basis of this, mythological stories evolved in this world. For example, Thor is the god of thunder. Rituals evolved out of these concepts. People started praying to god of rain for good crops, started praying to Mother Earth, etc. etc. Our mythological stories have their root in philosophy. Only historical knowledge will help us to understand the stage of development. So, we have learnt what is applied history and how the method of applied history proves to be beneficial in the research of various fields. Next topic is about applied history and present. The ancient historical monuments, that is relics, develop curiosity in us as they represent the creative thoughts of our ancestors. If you remember, pyramids, the pyramids of Giza. Each pyramid has a star alignment. It's a superb masterpiece and make us wonder that what technology had been used 4,000 years ago to create this. We are fortunate to visit this as it is declared as a heritage site. Children, our cultural heritage represents our identity, so we must preserve it for our future generations. Next topic is about management of cultural and natural heritage. Cultural heritage is of two types, tangible and intangible. So let's study about tangible first. Tangible means anything that can be seen or touched. Tangible cultural heritage includes ancient sites, buildings, artifacts, manuscripts, sculpture, paintings, etc. For example, Taj Mahal, Buddhist scriptures, paintings of Jahangir, Sanskrit scripts, pyramids, etc. Intangible heritage includes oral traditions and their languages. Do you know, children, our Stone Age man did not have a formal written language. Even pictographs were memorized and passed down from generation to generation. Cultural traditions were also passed orally in the form of folk tales, ballads, folk songs, dance, etc. Traditional knowledge like knowledge of agriculture, hunting, etc. Even customs and rituals of celebrating festivals of various art form were included in intangible heritage. Natural heritage gives importance to biodiversity, which include flora, that is plants, fauna, that is animals, ecology, that is a system where flora and fauna interacts. It is also known as food chain, and geomorphic characteristic, that is various forms of landscape. We play a vital role in conserving the species like tiger, elephants, rare types of flowers or plants from becoming extinct. In order to do this, we create wildlife sanctuary. UNESCO, an affiliated organ of United Nations, has announced some directives to preserve such heritage sites. On the basis of those directives, list of sites and traditions are declared as World Heritage, thereby making a tourist site and generating employment opportunities. For example, the Kaas Plateau at Satara in Maharashtra. From August to September, you will find a variety of flowers blooming here. It is also the time when you will get to see large number of butterflies. Let us study about oral and intangible heritage. In the category of oral and intangible heritage, the first one is Kodiyattam. Kodiyattam means combined acting. It signifies Sanskrit drama presented in traditional style in temple theatres of Kerala. It is the only surviving specimen of ancient Sanskrit theatre. Next one is Vedic chants. Vedic chants are also known as Sanskrit recitals. Next one is Ram Leela. It is one of the eminent performing art of Uttar Pradesh. It is a street representation of the epic Ramayana. People from faraway land come to watch the fascinating proceeding of Uttar Pradesh Ram Leela. Next one is Raman. Raman is a religious festival and ritual theatre of the Garhwal Himalayas. Every year in the late April, the twin village of Solar Dungra in the state of Uttarakhand are marked by Raman, a religious festival in honor of Bhumiyal Devta. This event is made up of highly complex rituals including the recitation of a version of the epic of Rama, and various legends and performance of songs and masked dances. Next one is Kalbelia. Kalbelia is also known as snake dance. It is popularly known as the folk song and dance of Rajasthan. This dance is performed by the tribe of the same name and is an integral part of their culture and performed by men and women. Next one is Chow dance. It is a tradition from East India. And the last one is yoga. So, these were some of the Indian traditions declared as oral and intangible heritage. Now, let's move to World Cultural Heritage Sites. In the category of World Cultural Heritage Sites, the first one is Agra Fort, which is situated at Agra, Uttar Pradesh. Second one is Konark Temple, which is situated at Orissa. Third one is Great Living Chola Temple, situated at Tamil Nadu. Fourth one, Rani Ki Vav or Bavdi, which is situated at Gujarat. Next one is Humayun's tomb at Delhi, Jantar Mantar at Jaipur, Fatehpur Sikri at Agra, and CST at Mumbai, and also many more are included in the category of World Cultural Heritage Sites. Cultural and natural heritage falls under the jurisdiction of the Archaeological Survey of India and India's State Departments of Archaeology. Besides INTAC, that is Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage, which also works in this field. They conserve and maintain these heritage sites. A team of professionals work along to retain the damage done without tampering its originality. Next one is affiliated professional fields. In that, the first one is working as a curator in museums or archives, and second one is preservation and conservation of historical sites. Next one is tourism and hospitality, that is hotel and restaurants around historical place, and fourth one is entertainment and mass media, that is newspaper. Every field mentioned here needs an expert with special skills like architects, engineers, historians, archaeologists, museum curators, sociologists, management professionals, etc. Thus, project in a field of applied history can create various opportunities for these professions. Now students, in this chapter, we studied about the role of applied history in public training programs for understanding the importance of history. We also learnt that it is a prime duty to preserve and conserve our heritage sites, and we must refrain from vandalizing it. Thank you.